I don't know what episode it is. Doesn't matter. Of the
Episode 4, I believe.
See You In Valhalla podcast. Man, we're right on time. Look at that.
Yeah, we are.
I wasn't really paying attention to that, but that's
We
perfect.
we respect people's times.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jeff, my ask of you on this one is
Okay.
to pull up visual aids as we talk about them. So if we're
Cool.
talking about 23.2, bring it up to the screen if you can.
Yeah.
I realize I just can't do that.
Yeah, no worries. And then
We'll try
so do
you.
you have them queued up? Sorry, I'm trying to fix my screen here. Or do we just want me to like look them up and then make it happen?
Yeah, more of that. I guess I
I
think
got it.
what we'll definitely talk 23.2, right? So and maybe
Yeah.
even 23.1 a little bit.
Over that stuff. I mean, I would hate to go back and have to talk about 23.1 again because I just buried all those emotions.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's for the good of the people, I'm happy to do that as well.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Jeff did the 23.1 about 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
and did way better
Yeah.
than his actual performance when I guess you could say it counted.
Yeah. So I think that after some, some self-searching, soul searching over the last week, I think I stumbled across some things that I did differently for sure this second time around on 23.1. So I think I figured out what the problem was. I paced myself too much. The
Mm,
rower, I broke up the toes to bar significantly. I was only doing singles, but we had done toes to bar a couple of days prior to
yeah, I heard
23.1
that a few
anyway.
times.
And I
Yeah.
started to cramp real bad, and did not experience that the first time that we went through.
Okay.
So I think I lost a lot of time there
Wonder
for
if I
sure.
just wonder if this will be better. Hold on, bear with me.
But I'm better for it now, so it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, that looks a little more natural. Um, yeah, I think I'm the opposite. I think I actually went a little too aggressive on my total bar. I did like 8-7 the whole time and
Oh
then
yeah, that's what you're
finished with
saying.
a 5. And I just felt the core fatigue build through the wall balls. Like it just kept
Oh,
building. Whereas you would think it would kind of be peaked. Maybe you do the first set, whatever, and then it's done. But nope, just kept building. Man, the heart rate was through the roof trying to go into those cleans. I never felt like the cleans were heavy or muscularly I was exhausted or anything. It was purely heart rate just was out of control. Um, that being said, I did okay. I'm on par with the performance that I think I could do.
yeah.
Maybe I could have done a little better, but it's just fun. It was a good night.
Yeah, and I was very proud of everybody that was out there too. All
Yeah.
the people, the newbies that we saw a couple of rooks out there, I guess you could call them that. And then some guy I didn't even know jumped off the rower before me. I'm like, dude, this guy's just like a drop in, and I'm like getting smoked off the rower, and I've got 15 calories left. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And then you got to try and catch up. You start freaking out, and I started
Yeah, you
pulling
start getting
harder,
in your head.
spiked my heart rate,
Yep.
but it's fine.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
didn't
said,
play your game. Were you
it's
talking about
fine, man.
Matt? You went next to Matt.
No.
I was gonna
I
say
knew
he's
what
not
Matt was
really
going to bring to the
new.
table. I've worked out with Matt.
Okay.
I wish I was not working out with him so I could have seen him do those muscle ups because that was cool to hear about. But I was too busy fighting my own internal battles to look up and see what was actually happening over there.
Uh,
I'm glad they got it recorded though. That was cool to watch for sure.
yeah. Most exciting, I think, for the muscle ups was actually Andrew, though.
Oh yeah.
That was also his first time doing them in a workout. I didn't
Oh
realize that.
sweet. I know
But
we had
I
talked
mean,
about it
his
the
were
last
such a
time too.
battle.
Yeah. Oh
But yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now we know what 23.2 is. We're going to do it in a few hours. Do you want to pull that up and we can
Yes.
chat about
Sweet.
once again the real strategies as well as the strategies to just have more fun with it.
And bear with me. So do I go share screen? I'm kind of
I think so, yeah.
all right. So I'm gonna go to window. Oh yes, I think I found it. Perfect.
Boom.
All right. Should be showing, yeah?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I
IT
mean, it's super
department.
zoomed out, so I don't
Oh,
know
here,
if anybody can
I
actually
can
read
fix
it.
that.
What about on
Like,
CrossFit homepage? Is it just easier to read there?
potentially. Do you want me to go there first? Hold on.
Yeah,
With me.
games.crossfit.com.
Spit. Uh,
At any
homepage.
rate,
Oh, workouts. Yeah.
so when this workout got released, I think as an affiliate owner, my first instinct was to play the victim on as far as like, well, this isn't going to be very user friendly when it comes to space and time and classes and things like that. And it's not. I won't, shed light on, like, it's not user friendly, but we ended up, in our space, we're going to be able to get 7 people through at a time. We're not going to lay out the floor plan quite like they wanted it to, but all that is taking away a little bit of efficiency. But none of us are trying to go next level necessarily, so it doesn't really matter. Um, so yeah, looking at this workout, you got 15 minutes. You're just going to do a couplet of a gymnastics movement and a monostructural movement. Now, for those that are tuning in and don't really understand what I just said, in CrossFit, you would say a gymnastics movement is anything body weight, and a monostructural movement is anything you can cycle. So typically that's going to be running, rowing, um, and double unders is very common. And now we have the shuttle run as the run standard in the open, which is awesome that they finally brought in the most functional human movement into the CrossFit Open. Um, that's probably been something on their minds for a while now, is how to standardize a good run. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
Well, I do wanna say that I saw the workout, and I thought that this should have been 23.1
Yeah.
because it right?
Way more
But
inclusive of a workout than the last one.
yeah,
Although I think the approach of starting inclusive is just what we're used to. I don't think it makes a bit of difference really.
yeah. Um, and then I did get a little bit of a laugh yesterday because it had been made. So I showed up to 4:15, and you had taped out everything already. So it's like I imagined you right when they announced it. You're like, I got to go grid this thing out, man. I'm gonna make these lanes. How does this best fit inside my gym? And I was like, it's so on brand with you to just like walk in hours after the announcement and like everything's set up. I'm like, all right, we're ready
Well,
to rock.
normally,
Like I got nervous.
yeah, but normally my strategy is actually to clean the gym and then do the setup, come back and do the setup at night. But because we were doing rope climbs yesterday and those ropes just
Dirty.
make an atrocious mess, it
Yeah.
was like, what's the point of cleaning when there's still 2 more classes? So instead, I did it the opposite order, where I just set up the gym and then came back at night and cleaned it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I was
nice.
at the gym pretty late last night doing that. Well, late relative to my standards. Normally, I'm asleep by the time I left the gym.
Yeah.
um, but anyway, it was I love setting up for the open. It takes a lot of time. I don't know if anybody realizes it takes me probably 3 hours at least for pretty much every open workout to really plan all that stuff out, just for logistical, like what's the best way to set this up. Sometimes I set the room up about 3 different ways before I settle on something, and before I put tape down and things like that. And then the tape is always meticulous and tough to do. But yeah, it's all laned out now. It looks pretty clean, I think.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this workout. I think 15 minutes is a long time. How are you feeling about this particular part A of the
Yeah,
workout?
so I think that if I can find a pace and stick with it, I'm gonna be happy with it. Like, I watched the workouts yesterday, and it was like, I wanna say that they were older people, but when I really reflect, I'm like, they're probably like 3 years older than I am because that's just kinda snuck up on me. I'm like, if I can get to like 110, I think that I'll be jacked up. Like, I'm trying to set my expectations lower because my heart was so broken last week that
Mm.
like I'm kinda just like reeling it in just a little bit. But yeah, that being said, I mean, uh it seems approachable, but then it's also could be what it looks like one of those, workouts where it's just gonna, like, sneak up on you and kick you in the face, like, around, minute 7 or whatever when you really get into it. But I'm excited for it because it's like it just seems like a mindless type of a workout, just, like, find a dark place and just go. Um, so yeah,
Same with the
I'm looking
judging
for
of
that.
it. I think I love this workout for a couple of reasons. It's really easy to judge, so I don't have to worry about people making judgment errors unless they're miscounting the shuttle runs.
Yeah,
um, which, I mean, they shouldn't. That's like a down and back one.
yeah,
It's really easy. I judged one person today, and it was just like that was the easiest thing to judge ever. Minus sometimes you lose the bar in the light, and they were doing scaled. And when they touch the bar, sometimes you lose sight of, like, was that their fingertips touching the bar, or am I losing their fingertips through the light shining, like silhouetting them?
Wait, what do you
Um,
mean wait, what do you mean by that? What are we paying attention to with the fingers? Say that.
oh, so like in the scale division, you just have to touch your fingers to the bar. There's no pull up. So it's just
Oh, gotcha.
burpee,
Okay, to jump and touch
burpee,
the
touch your
bar.
fingers to this bar. Yeah, and the standard's the same as far as the bar height for both
Okay.
scaled and RX, which is also super convenient.
And that's just
Um,
outside of fingers, right? Is that what it is when they were measuring
yeah,
that?
you should not be able to touch the bar with both hands overhead, thumbs touching,
Mhm.
elbows fully extended.
Oh, yeah, I
So if
saw
you can
those elbows
see,
were fully extended yesterday.
right?
Were those guys just so yoked yesterday that, like, they couldn't, like, get their arms to, like
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do have like people with significant shoulder damage won't be able to extend their
Yes,
elbow
I
no
have
matter
that.
what they do.
Yeah. I shouldn't
Um,
talk trash when I'm that guy.
but for the most part, most people will be able to do that. And then what's interesting with that standard is you can, it's not, I feel it feels like it's almost inviting you to. You can depress your shoulders, so bring them down away from the ears as far as you can, as long as you can maintain the extended elbow and thumbs touching,
So
right? So you can
that'll be
actually,
interesting.
there's like I can physically the bar I'm going to go on, standing flat on the ground, I can physically reach up and touch it if I really try for it.
Mhm.
But if I just stand normal and do it, I can't touch it. I miss
Right
it by
on.
a couple inches. And I'm actually going to do about 3 mat widths. So you have like these really thin mats. I'm going to do about 3 of those stacked, so that I'm maximizing efficiency there. I'm still in the debate there because I'm going to try it both ways in my warm up to make sure which surface, like if the mats create a surface that's a distraction for me,
Mhm.
I won't use it. Whereas if it's not a distraction and it feels like it's actually I'm that much closer to the bar, then I'll stick with it. But
Are you talking about the blue mats? Or you talking about the bifold black mats?
yeah, we have these blue puzzle mats that are
Oh, yeah.
about probably like half an inch, 3/4 inch, maybe. Maybe not. No, they're probably like half an inch thick.
Our
Um,
handstand
and
push-up
so
mats?
yeah, I think 3 of those is about an inch and a half thickness. So I'm planning on using that so that I'm like a half inch from touching the bar instead of 2 inches from touching it.
Now, here's my next question. Will you be lay it out so it's full body for you, or are you just gonna have a square to step onto to jump off of?
No, you have to actually lay it out for full body because
Okay,
in
that's
the
what I was thinking.
rules you have to have your whole body on it
Mhm.
if you're going to use something like that. So yeah, I have 4 lengths,
Yeah,
three three height, right?
that
Three
makes sense.
stacks. So it's a lot
Yeah,
of mats.
that was, logistically, that was one of the things I thought about yesterday when they were measuring. I'm like, "Oh, man, so that's gonna affect, like, the heats too, like, oh, if that bar is taken and it works, right, do we go to the next one, or do we lay the mats
Yeah,
out? Like, what's the best situation gonna be?"
yeah. I mean, the biggest logistical nightmare is definitely the fact that not all bars are created equal, and neither are people.
Yeah,
So I think I'm just going to try to verbally direct people to sign up for the lane that matches the bar they wish to have, and I have a map of that and which bar um, they can go to from their lane. And some
yeah,
of them have 2 options, some of them only have 1 option. And then some of them you have to coordinate with the lane next to you too. So if you're both trying to go to the same bar, that could create some issues, right?
yeah,
So there's a little bit of coordination that's going to have to happen, but ultimately we have plenty of bars like if we use the whole thing, but we want to make it as seamless as possible
yeah,
and make sure it makes sense to where your lane is too. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure that'll be a little bit of a hiccup, but it sounds like we're gonna have a lower turnout. A lot of people are out of town this weekend,
yep,
and we're not doing the bring a friend thing, so we don't have a lot of extra people around. So I think we'll go through pretty smoothly. We have a guy named Jedediah Snelson joining us. He's going to go out in Heat 1. He's an
nice.
adaptive athlete who's trying to qualify for the adaptive CrossFit Games. Um, and I believe he has in the past. So I think I think he's even won the Wheel and Wad Games, which
No
is
way.
kind of like the pinnacle of the adaptive athlete stuff. So
Yeah,
kind
that's
of a
awesome.
badass coming in tonight. And I wanted to start him off so that everybody could see um, what making the most out of the hand you're dealt looks like, right?
Yeah,
Because this guy is phenomenal. Um, so it'll be really cool to see. And his version of the workout's pretty unique too, but it works well with the way we're set up, I think. So I'm really excited to watch him start us off. Um, it's going to be a fun night to start
yeah,
that
heck
way.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh,
Um,
I saw him the other day at the gym. He was, judging somebody, Josh or something like that. He said that he might
yeah,
come
he's just
back
his friend.
also.
He had just repeat done 23.1 with us, and apparently there was like a technical error when he did it the first night,
Uh-huh.
and he tweaked his neck just a little bit on that first night, and it really, I mean, he struggled when he redid
Huh.
it in our gym. He
Yeah.
just, it was sad, but
Yeah, that's too bad.
he
Well, yeah, it'll
fought
be
and he had a
exciting to
great
watch.
mental attitude. One
Yeah.
thing actually I took away from that is he's not afraid to talk to himself. Like he yells at himself during the workout.
Oh, seriously, like,
Um,
motivating himself?
yeah, and I was like, I say all those same things, I just don't say them out loud because I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed, let's say.
Yeah.
He's not shy, and that's I thought that was really cool. I might start implementing that against myself too, because I think
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to hear it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's an inspiring guy to watch throw down, so I'm excited for that. Um,
And
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, normally when I talk to myself, people might have heard me over the last couple of weeks, but I'm laying there, uh, suffering on the floor after a workout, and everybody's putting their stuff away, and I'm like, "Jeff, get up off the floor, Jeff."
Yeah, yeah,
So I should probably do it in a more positive manner and trying to get myself going during a workout. See, that'd be cool.
yeah.
I'll
He was
watch for
like
you to do
yelling
it
things
tonight.
like, "You can do this." It
Oh,
was
no way.
like, yeah, it was really
That's
cool.
nice. Heck
Um,
yeah.
it was good. Anyway, what do you think on the second portion of the workout today?
Yeah, that max thruster. Um, yeah, I think that I had said we were doing thrusters last week. Do you remember that? We're gonna do thrusters and
I
double
actually
unders.
don't recall. No way.
You don't,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think I
not
do
written
remember
down.
you saying that.
Yeah.
I think I do remember you saying.
But, man, it's like in my mind, that's like the demon movement. Like thrusters are just like killer for me.
Mhm.
But that being said, it's just a 1 rep max. So I think maybe I'll lift maybe 3 times in total, and I'll probably start out with like a heavy confident like type of a lift from like on the
Yeah,
upper end of it, and then push myself
but you're
because I
super confident. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, just get one down, get the like, the
yep,
muscles moving in the right direction, make sure I'm not doing that, what they call it, a cheeky little pause, and then you get a little push jerk at the end,
correct. Yeah, that's
just
gonna be
making
a no
sure that
rep.
you can handle that, so I'm actually very much looking forward to it because it's not like 21, 15, 9 of thrusters at 135 pounds or whatever, it's just do it, and, you got 5 minutes too, which is nice to, you know,
It's
recover
over
and then get
soon.
on the bar.
Yeah, my big thought is to try to get a rep in, whether it's light, moderate, or heavy, but a confident rep. Try to get one probably at about 1 minute in to that
Yeah,
time frame, just to kind of be like, okay, this is the new movement you're doing after
yeah,
doing 15 minutes of two other movements. Like just to kind of tell your body, like, hey, this is what's about to happen. Kind of gets your nervous system to shift gears towards a little bit
mhm,
heavier load and a different range of motion and things like that. So I definitely recommend getting a really confident one um, in that first minute, probably coming off of that
yeah,
part
what
A.
do you think you're gonna go for?
I think I'm going to start with 185,
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice, nice,
and then I'm going to go from there. And I'm
nice.
hoping, well, I don't want to say exactly what I'm hoping to get, but
Yeah, you don't
um,
spill all the beans.
I don't know though. I don't know what I'm going to be capable of because I'm thinking I'm relating this to a push press more than anything.
Yeah,
And I know my push press max is probably like 235, and it's probably gross and ugly. Um, so I imagine I could do a thruster at that weight a little bit cleaner.
yeah,
But that being said, I think with all that fatigue, I have a realistic expectation of not getting
yeah,
quite so heavy.
yeah. See ya.
I'm gonna let my dog out. See you, dude.
Oh, okay.
Later.
Oh,
Um, if you guys are just joining us to watch, you guys can always throw things in the chat, and we'll chat back with you.
that's what I
Um,
was just jumping over to take a look at.
yeah, no pressure though.
Nice.
Um, as far as the do you want to pull up the standards for us really quick
Sure.
on this?
Is that on the same thing? That's Turkish get-ups.
You have to like pull up the PDF that I think it's the same
Oh, the
PDF
one
you
that I was
had.
on earlier?
You just scroll down,
Yeah. Notes, submissions. Oh, that's
keep
submission
going. Yeah, keep
standards.
scrolling, keep scrolling.
Oh, okay, yep. Movement standards.
Yeah, so I mean, just to so everybody can like key in on this, this one's going to be really simple. Chest and thighs touch the ground, and chin gets over the bar on the pull up, hands touch the bar on the scaled version of this. The scaled one is like crazy easy to judge, and because your hands are so close to the bar, you can really minimize your jump. You just need your fingertips to touch it. Um, Biggest thing I see go wrong is a lot of ladies, especially, don't touch their chest. They kind of keep in that arched position
Mhm.
and hover their chest off the ground. I see guys do it too. Um, so it's not exclusive by any means. And then I could see there's a couple different styles out there right now that people are talking about with the pull-up. There's a kipping pull-up versus a jump into the chin over bar pull-up. And I think it's going to depend on the person and how tired they are and what their skill set is for this. But a kipping version is much, much, much slower.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend it unless you absolutely have to. Whereas the jump, and the biggest thing I urge people is you have to jump and try to keep your momentum. You don't want to jump, pause, pull your chin over the bar, because then you're basically doing a half strict pull up every time.
Yeah.
And a half strict pull up for some people is just as hard as the full strict pull up. So really trying to focus on finding your hands as soon as you can and just keeping those elbows pulling down. So as soon as it makes contact, you're trying to keep your momentum. Just like on a push press, you would be trying to keep the momentum going upward. You're trying to keep your elbows going downward as you touch that bar so that your chin never stalls as it approaches that chin over bar position. I personally think that the mixed grip is actually the easiest grip to do this with, but it does take some practice.
Oh yeah. I hadn't thought about doing mixed grip. Did you do it a couple times a day? Give
Like
it a
the
go?
workout or
Done
the
it? I
burpees?
guess you've done it in the past then, right?
Like this style of movement?
Well, no, like, I wouldn't even have thought about doing the mixed grip. I mean,
Yeah,
would have eventually when I got
there's an
really fatigued.
there's a really old CrossFit. It's on CrossFit's YouTube channel. There's an old video of I think they were doing a tactical seminar. So there
Mhm,
are a lot of police and military guys in there or whatever, and girls. And the instructor was talking about the mixed grip and why we would use it. And this is a great place to use it because you don't need to be as like accurate with where your hands go.
mhm,
Because as long as you get above that bar and they start falling, you're gonna lock in. And just like you mix grip a deadlift, your grip's a lot stronger there. You're
yeah,
not about to drop that bar, right? Whereas if you come here and miss a little bit or whatever, you might have to reset, or it's going to take a lot of energy to overcome, things like that. So I find that the mixed grip works really well because of that. The reason they did it was because you also hold a rifle in a mixed grip. You don't hold it double pronated or anything
yeah,
like that. So they were talking about just that being more practical, but also the fact that they could kind of keep their sights on the horizon and not so much looking up at the bar every time. Um, so yeah, I've been practicing that mixed grip for about a year, I want to say, but not that this movement comes up a ton. But the other thing that I've been practicing, but probably not enough, that I'm a little intimidated by, is the burpee. A lot of people take for granted burpees and like how there could be a multiple different styles and use different styles depending on the workout to practice those. And
mhm,
most people just try to survive on burpees, which,
yeah,
yeah, I guess when you're really new, that is just number one goal.
for
But
sure.
being able to do a really efficient step up and step back burpee is another skill set that sometimes people don't develop. And I myself am guilty of it to an extent. I can step up really well with my left leg forward. I
Uh-huh.
can't step back for shit. Like my step back is slow. It feels heavy. Like I just jump back. But then
So
I try to
you
step up
you gonna
with my
step back
right and it's
then
weird.
today rather than just hitting the
I'm gonna
deck?
ju- I'm gonna jump back, but
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna step up.
Okay.
But my goal is to alternate my step up
Okay.
so that I'm not, because when we did the 7 minute AMRAP, I did it all on one leg, and just one leg was toast. And I don't think that's a good idea for this
Yeah,
workout.
yeah,
um, so yeah, that'll be my goal, but I don't know if I've practiced enough. But yeah, people sleep on practicing different styles of burpees,
yeah,
and
man. No
it's a
need
good
to get
movement.
ready if you're already ready, right? So just practice, 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 doing
Yeah,
different things.
yeah.
Dang.
Slow down on your training metcons. You don't need to go ham every time. You could slow down
Yeah,
and
that's true.
figure out a new way to move and get more out of it in the long run.
Give me a scroll?
Um, yeah, because the thruster is really the controversial one, I would say. The shuttle run's pretty damn straightforward. It's going to be
Yeah,
so easy to judge a shuttle run. Just making sure that people are counting down and back, and that you don't have to touch on that 10th time through. You don't
you
have to
come back
touch the
over, yeah.
ground. Yeah, you just run through, go to your bar, and do your thing.
Look at that wide turn they have there illustrating that. What if you see somebody
Yeah.
doing that in the gym? You tell them to
Well,
stop?
the lanes are about 5 feet wide, so I'm gonna be
Uh-huh.
like, stay in your damn lane.
Yeah. There's a NASCAR turn right there. That's nice. Look at that thing. All right, so thruster. Here we go.
All right, so if we read through the standards here, you could say, I'm gonna make this bigger on my screen so I could see what the hell
I
I'm
can make it
talking
bigger
about.
too.
Each thruster attempt begins with the barbell on the ground. Collars must be placed outside the plates before beginning any attempt. So you must use collars. You can't just go no collars. The crease of the hips must clearly pass below the top of the knees in the bottom position. Standard squat stuff, right? You can squat clean into the thruster. It's totally allowed, but it is not required. So you can power clean, stand up, reset yourself, and go into a thruster if you wanted to from there. The rep is credited when the athlete's hips, knees, and arms are fully extended. The bar is directly over or slightly behind the middle of the body. Again, all this stuff so far, pretty straightforward. The rep must be completed in one fluid motion from the bottom of a squat. A front squat followed by a jerk is not allowed. Now, that's the most controversial bullet point because a lot of people don't consider if you didn't like reset and do a dip and drive, is it a jerk? But what they're saying is you cannot rebend your knees to receive the load.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's going to be, I've already seen it a couple times. That's going to be something where the judge has to no rep those athletes.
Oh,
Um,
so that's like on your way up to like your full arm extension, like trying to get up underneath it.
yes. It's like you're trying to do
Oh,
a little push jerk, but you
yeah.
came. So, like, that's where it's like this verbiage is confusing because technically it was completed in one fluid motion,
Uh-huh.
but they've since I've heard a few people talking about it, and I think if we've done thrusters, we should know this is just not that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So they have a clause in like the judges' course where they talk about, you know, use common sense when needed, right? And the only thing is I don't love using common sense in competition because not everybody has common sense.
Yeah.
So
Makes no
some people
comment.
are probably going to be getting away with some thruster jerks.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
Dang, that's intense.
Key here though, athletes are allowed to receive assistance this time. So
Which has not been
if we
always
go
been the case, right?
well, so if we go to 23.1 of last week, there was a specific standard in there where athletes were not allowed to receive any help from their judge. So the judge wasn't supposed to start up their rower or anything for them,
Oh, okay.
right? And so there was a little bit of a hissy fit for the top of the leaderboard for the guys because Roman Krinikov in his video has someone reset his monitor, whereas
Oh,
Patrick Vellner struggles to reset his monitor
yeah.
himself
Uh,
intentionally, and he talks about it in his video about how that killed some time for him, and they are 2 reps apart in the leaderboard, and a
oh,
tota bar
God.
only takes about 2 seconds. So,
Yeah.
um, but my argument is Patrick Vellner is a professional CrossFit Games athlete, and if he doesn't have a PM5 monitor by now, he's
Needs one.
asleep.
Yeah.
Like
Asleep at
it's
the
like you're
wheel.
willfully not trying. Like
Yeah.
we know the risks in having a PM3 monitor. They're kind of a mess because they're super old now. They take forever to gear up, things like that. So if he had a PM3 monitor and he's really thinking he lost 10 seconds because of that, that to me is like, dude, upgrade your equipment. You're a professional athlete.
Yeah. Man, imagine
Um,
how good he'd be if he had like updated equipment.
well, I don't think that changes anything, but
I'm sure.
if you don't want to leave room for error, and that's
Yeah.
just I don't know. And I get it. He did follow the standard as it was written. And that's where the controversy comes in. But it's like, come on, it's a button on a rower. And at every competition, these guys are getting their buttons pushed for
Yeah.
them. In fact, they're not allowed to touch it. So um, I think it's totally like just one of those things where it's like, don't make a big deal out of nothing. But
Yeah.
also, when you're hosting a worldwide competition and you're trying to standardize everything, probably make it pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into that's the one thing I wanted to talk about with the thruster thing.
So hold
Um,
on. Well, like strategically, like because you can clean it and then drop down into a thruster into like a front squat and then finish your thruster
mhm.
movement. Like I was thinking that's probably something that I would do just to like, especially if I'm fatigued at that point, right? Like coming in, or was it not worth it? Like don't do it.
It really depends on how good you are at the clean. Because if the clean is pulling your center of mass in one way or another,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to somehow fight to overcompensate for that during the thruster if you're just doing it in all in one.
Yeah.
Whereas if you power clean, set your feet up and do that, the only difference is now you're holding the bar a lot longer. So you could be like especially in the
But
midline, fatiguing that quite a bit
yeah.
by just holding the front rack too long. But at least you're set up. You know that if you know you're gonna have center of mass problems where you get too far forward on your toes or too far back on your heels or whatever, you can eliminate that by power clean, stand it up, adjust your feet, get ready, big breath, go, right?
Mhm.
Squat into the push. But
Yeah.
um
So you would suggest just doing like a cluster basically, right?
I think for most people who have enough experience with the clean, yes. For someone like Matt tonight, who doesn't have a ton of experience with the clean, I think he should power clean, then front squat, overhead press,
Gotcha.
right? Like, because his clean just isn't where it needs to be yet. He just doesn't have that much experience yet.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
Um, the other thing that's interesting here is it says the bar must leave the ground before the 5-minute cap. That means uh, you can you could be midway through the lift when the time beeps and it's okay,
Still counts.
as long as it was off the ground when you started. So if you're doing that power clean, you could power clean it at 1959, hold it there for 10 seconds if you really wanted to, and then hit your thruster. Now I don't know why you would do that, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying that would
but
still
you could.
count.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
It's be fun to watch people get some PRs tonight, hopefully. I honestly don't even know what my PR would be for a thruster.
that is tricky, but I still say like I'll be interested to see if anybody because you have different skill levels. Anybody in that kind of lower skill level PRs their clean and jerk in a sense
Uh-huh.
through a thruster like this because
Yeah.
this should be harder than a clean and jerk
Yeah.
by a long shot.
Yeah,
So
it's
that'll
crazy.
be interesting to see if anybody hits something like that.
Be
Not
fun.
anticipating it for a lot, but it'll be good energy for especially that last 5 minutes of everything. I will say it's probably going to be a little boring to watch the 15-minute shuttle runs and burpees.
Pull-ups.
It's not going to be the most exciting thing to watch, probably. Um, it's a mental workout. Love how simple it is. I think in
Yeah.
execution it's going to be a lot of fun. I just think for a 1 hour class, it's almost impossible to run 2 heats of this.
Yeah. So how many heats do you think we'll do?
Well, with the lower turnout tonight, I'm hoping we can get through it in 3 to 4.
Nice.
Um,
Depending on bar setup and everything like that?
yeah, I don't even know if that's logistically going to really come into play as much.
Alright. I'm overthinking it.
I think
Where
so.
did you wanna go?
Oh, I didn't have actual location yet, but we should chat about the strategy. So I'll talk about overall strategy for doing better on the workout, and then we'll talk
Mhm.
about strategies to make sure the workout stays fun.
Okay.
Okay,
I love it.
so overall strategy on this workout by the 8-minute mark, if you feel like you're dying, you did it wrong already. You're kind of screwed. You should feel like you're in total control by then. So pacing is going to be very important early on in this.
I
Other
halfway through.
strategies, if you know you're on shuttle runs, don't stop. Just walk if you have to. But you can always make forward progress,
Yeah, that's a good
right?
point.
So always be thinking about that when you're on those shuttle runs. And as the workout gets heavy on the burpee side of things, the shuttle runs are going to be a welcomed break from the burpees, I think.
Yeah.
Um, most people have been reporting the arm fatigue. I haven't heard anything about legs yet. Arms and lower back is about all I hear about.
And from, is that from hinging and or just like everything, hinging on the shuttle run and then
It's mainly, I think, the hinging and rotation on the shuttle run.
yeah.
So it's a not super well trained movement, so it's one that tends to light people up. Sometimes it doesn't light you up that day; it makes you tight the next couple days. That's
Oh,
more
gotcha.
what I would anticipate, but there's been a few people who have said they felt it.
Are you
And then
doing
yeah,
that?
you're hinging on the burpees too, but
Yeah.
it's a more symmetrical hinge at least. Um, and then the arms is just from pressing up on the burpees.
Yeah. You gonna keep facing the same direction on your turn? Or are you gonna break it up?
N- No, I'll rotate.
Will you?
Yeah, yeah. I think that should happen because what you don't want necessarily in this workout is if you turn the same direction all the time or you get up on the same foot on the burpees all the time, when muscles are getting used over and over and over again, they tend to start feeling a little more tight, right? Like a
Mhm.
little more restrictive to movement. And then you're going to go try to hit the thruster where one side of your body is going to feel more restricted than the other. And that's going to start causing probably a down chain effect right? Where maybe there's even rotation in your lift, and now you have to overcome rotation with the bar. Those are all, I would say, issues to have a heads up on, and just try to stay even on it. And you shouldn't be going so fast that you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyway.
I get
So because you
I
should
just
be
know that I get
pacing, it's
nauseous
15
on
minutes.
box step overs. They just start spinning in circles,
Yeah,
but it's at least
because
a
you're turning the
longer
same way.
rotation. Yeah.
Yeah, so turn a different way every time.
My legs don't work as, efficiently
Turn
going that
left.
direction.
It's freaking
NASCAR again.
Zoolander.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks in a row of Zoolander, you know?
Hey, there it
Actually,
is, can't turn my
did you see the post that I shared? It was I can't remember who posted it, but they were doing the cable guy when he's warming up for basketball
Oh,
and he does
yeah,
his
back
little
and forth.
suicide sprints. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such an intense camera stare. Yeah, that was
Yeah. So good.
super good.
So it
Super
made me
good.
laugh.
Felt like so accurate.
And his shoes that were squeaking while he was running.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, if only we had a hardwood floor for this,
I
it'd be
know,
so much fun.
that'd be everything. That'd be awesome.
Um, yeah, okay, so as far as strategy overall, it really is just a pacing workout. Try to keep your heart rate down as much as you can. Stepping back and stepping up your burpees is a good strategy for that. It does slow you down, but that's part of keeping your heart rate down.
Yeah,
Whereas jumping back, jumping up, a little bit more challenging as far as that goes. So,
you'll be happy
um,
with your decision.
yeah. And again, by the 8-minute mark, you should still feel in control. If you're feeling out of control, I hope to God you have a strong engine for finishing that workout. Um, but yeah, you want to feel in control for that first 8 minutes, not like, oh shit, I'm only halfway and be dead.
Yeah.
That's a risk that you don't want to take.
I'm
Um, Really, other than that, though, it is simple. There's not as much strategy to this. As far as the thruster, I would say, again, you start with something you know you can hit, but it teaches your body, again, like it kind of rewires the nervous system. Like, this is the lift. This is what you're about to do. It's going to get heavier, right? You just got to kind of recalibrate after doing 15 minutes of continuous mindless kind of work.
Yeah,
Um, so I would recommend trying to hit something in the first minute. And then I'd aim for about 4 to 5 attempts.
okay.
Um, kind of
Almost
depending
like
on
an
how things
EMOM?
are going, right? Because that first one you could kind of negate. You're going to do it on that first minute. You're just trying to get a quick one under your belt. And then
Yeah,
based off how that felt, you might have to take a bigger break. Maybe you need less of a break to just hit that next one. I don't know, right? You kind of base off feel a little bit. But I would say if you could plan in every minute, that would probably be the best way to go about it to start. And then only vary from the plan if you hit one of the weights and it was like, oh shoot, this is heavier than I thought.
yeah. Couldn't get it. A quick drop back. Or
Then
do
you
it
start
again.
taking longer breaks.
Yeah.
You might have to do it again,
Oh,
depends.
alright.
Sometimes though, if you're like, "Oh shoot, I just got forward, I know I can hit the next one." Sometimes that can happen, but you're also being a little risky there.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as strategies to make this fun in your intramural open, remembering that you're playing against other people,
Mhm.
um, easy one is to, well, this might work in your detriment, but change out the guy's barbell for a girl's barbell when he's not looking.
Yeah. You're like he's like, "I did 135." You're like, "Nope, sorry, that was 125."
That being said, it'd probably be easier because it's narrower. It'd be easier to
Yeah.
grip and keep it closer to your neck and everything. So um, that might work against you. If you're a lady though, switching out the ladies' barbell with the man's barbell, now that'll get in their head.
Yeah. He was in there like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, is my grip swollen? Like why?
Yeah. No, that would be I did bench press the other day, and I was doing it with Katie using her weight, obviously, and,
hmm
like, wrapping my hands around that smaller bar, I thought I was gonna break it. It felt very strange to me.
Uh,
Um, so yeah, I could
were
only
your
imagine the
were your
opposite
fingernails
direction.
wrapping so well that they were like digging into your hand on the other
Yeah,
side?
yeah.
Like,
I
what's
got
this
fingernail
about?
polish all over my palms.
Classic. Um, yeah. So other ways, you got any ideas for how to make this
Yeah, I was just
fun
I
for
was
the
thinking about
intramural?
it. I mean, you know me, I'm always just like going a little bit too far. Like the first thing I thought of was obviously tying somebody's shoes together, which would be a terrible thing while they're on like burpees or something. And then they go to hit their shuttle run and then that would be terrible. But man, like those last week seemed like there was so many opportunities with messing with the damper. Um, this week, man, something different
Gotta
that
get a
you
little
could do.
creative. Getting a little creative. I
Yeah,
think you
creative
could
juices
you could
flowing.
start running in someone else's lane before they're back on their shuttle run, just to really throw them off their game a little bit.
Because 50 feet is 50 feet. Doesn't matter if you're going parallel or horizontal or
Yeah, but you should really stick to your lane. But you could always fuck with somebody like that.
yeah. Let me think about it for a second. Another thing that is going to make it fun though is are we still barbecuing?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have burgers and dogs.
I'm gonna show up early with my barbecue. Hang out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I actually won't be able to show up super early, but yeah, I'm hoping. Is
We need to
Katie going with
coordinate.
you?
What's up?
Is Katie going with you
She's
early?
so we talked about it. She's gonna drop me off, I think, with the grill because it's like we have this Camp Chef grill, so it's like the flat top burners, and then there's like the flip
Yeah.
top thing if we want to use it. But it just takes a little bit of time just setting it up. But it's
Okay.
just what
We'll
we use
we'll
for
maybe
camping.
snag the key that she has
Oh yeah, it's a good
just
idea
in
to get
case
in.
nobody's there, because we don't have
Oof.
any classes this afternoon. So,
Yeah, it's true. Thank you for that.
and then I'm going to my son's final basketball game just to hit the first half and then coming over. So,
Oh, nice, nice. Are you
um,
coaching again?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, I need to though. These kids didn't get coached at all. It's been pathetic to watch.
When you know you could do better, you know.
Oh man, I mean, there's so much undiscipline, not understanding how to play the game with etiquette, and then also just generally not understanding the game of basketball and only knowing like how to make shots.
Oh yeah.
And even then, you suck at it, like because you're not hit. Like so many kids aren't using the backboard when it's like a perfect opportunity to
Oh
use the
yeah.
backboard, like
Yeah.
right next to the hoop. It's like a
Just
sure
use it.
thing.
Yeah. Little bank shot. Banks are open.
Yeah, yeah. I keep
But you're
yelling that from the crowd. I'm like, the banks are open. It's not a holiday.
it's not a holiday. You're letting the coach know how you feel though, right? Like from the stands?
Not too much. I did email him and say offer to help. I was really nice
Yeah.
about it though. I wasn't a dick.
Ugh,
I think the coaches were voluntold. I don't even know if they wanted to coach. They just work at the
voluntold.
school. They just work at the school and are like, hey, nobody is a coach, so you guys got to get do something. You'll get paid.
Man.
Because they seem like they don't even really care to be there.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. As long as you're not heckling and booing the coaches from the sidelines, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
you
I'm
know.
I'm pretty good. My family's not quite as good, but they're not loud enough to travel across the court, so
Yeah.
that's good. Um,
It's funny.
but yeah, it'll be their last game. They got creamed last night by this team who is just so for the record, like these guys haven't hardly lost. Like the team they
You're
played, undefeated. My son's team haven't hardly lost. Like lost maybe 3 games total so far out
that
of
was a
like
good matchup.
13 or something like that. This
Yeah.
is probably one of the best matchups, and they got demolished.
Your team did?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it wasn't even close. It was like
such a
60 to 20 something,
oh, such a missed
and
opportunity
it's
there.
one of their closest games.
Oh,
That other team, it was one of their
oh,
closest
seriously?
games. They've just
Dang,
been smoking everybody.
that's crazy. How
Yeah.
old are they?
So,
Oh,
they're
maybe not too
they're
much.
supposed to be like 7th, 8th grade mix. So I'm wondering if they just have a bunch of 8th graders on it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there it is.
Lots of travel teams,
Bunch
maybe.
of
I don't know.
holdbacks.
There's only like 1 or 2 8th graders on Cooper's team. So,
Ugh,
at any rate,
yeah.
let's talk. We got 23.3, the final workout. Oh, as far as predictions from the teams, did anybody get? This one's going to be harder for me to judge. I'm going to have to actually write out a judging format because our guesses were so similar on the
Oh,
two teams.
seriously?
Yeah, they were very, very similar. And so I'm going to have to kind of like lay it out bit by bit. You get extra points if you got a movement exactly, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know if anybody did because
What
I don't
about
think
shuttle
we
runs
guessed.
and burpee pull-ups?
Yeah, I don't think we guessed shuttle runs for this.
We did, and I say we, I guess
We did
everybody knows
double
we're on the same team.
unders,
Yeah,
double
and
unders and
devil's
burpee.
press.
Oh, and devil's press. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're close, but then I think we have a close movement too. So I don't know. That's going to be weird. And then time domain, I think you guys are closer. And then we had a part B, so we're a lot closer in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause we did have a part B to ours where it was a 1 rep max snatch.
That's pretty good.
So
That was
that'll be
Haley,
good
wasn't it?
points. No, it was me.
Oh, was you?
Um,
Right.
we were like last second, like didn't have a guess in like a one that I thought was truly considerable. Haley's
Uh-huh.
guess was like, I don't think she understands how long her workout was. It had like 4 movements, 27, 21. It was like that would take a while, I think.
Yeah.
But so we did. Me and Kyle were just kind of standing around and be like, well, what about this? And then you put it up in the group, and then we put it up in the text. So
Just roll with it, huh?
um, yeah, we did. Ours was like fast and furious, like 12-minute total time cap. So we definitely didn't get the time domain right at all.
Yeah, we should also have an update on points. Like, are we gonna find out that later on today then? Or what?
Oh well, we won't be able to really do. I mean, we had it in the email. Did you not see it? Of course
Oh,
you didn't.
no.
You
Yeah.
didn't read your email.
No, sorry. I
Points
apologize
are in
about that.
the email that we sent out. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Um, and it's like, no offense, Jeff, our team is smoking your team so far.
Oh, well, who's calculating the points?
Well, I am, of course. I know it's like one of the weirdest things. Catherine and I
Like,
are
another
like,
good job. We're just doing a really good job out here,
I was
guys.
like, Catherine, do we like post about how good we're doing at winning our own
Absolutely.
open? Like,
Absolutely. Especially
um,
because we know you. Like, I'll give you a hard time, but
oh, everybody's gonna give me a hard time for sure.
yeah. Hey, but did you hear that we've actually got people out on the road traveling that stopped in Vegas? Are we gonna get extra points for
Yes,
that?
I don't know
Nice.
yet. We might commend you on that for sure because they are that is
50 points
impressive.
apiece?
Um, and they're keeping it together. They're representing well on the
Yeah.
road. Yeah, I think I don't know yet. Those are things that kind of come up, and you're just like, I guess I got to roll with that, you know. But ultimately, what we want is a close last week.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to manipulate things in your favor when we were finishing the points last week.
Oh,
So
'cause it's so bad?
it was pretty bad, and I think I'm trying to remember where the most separation came. We were only like 40 points ahead going into performance points. And then in the performance points, scaled women's did really well for our team.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a little separation in the other spots, but scaled women's, I think we took a lot of points
Oh,
there.
I know how I could sabotage the team just for fun. So we could just cut I could flag Haley's Instagram account and say that she has inappropriate stuff on there.
She's been talking about COVID or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like whatever. Be like, it's very inappropriate. My feelings are very hurt. Please flag the account and just shut her down for like a week and a
Yeah.
half or something. I'm actually gonna do that while we're
Oh
sitting
man,
here. That would be
that's
great,
hilarious.
man. But she's
I'm
coming
sure
up
she
with some
won't
good
find that funny.
content. She's coming up with
Yeah,
good
she said she's
content.
been planning those for a while now, so
Of course she
um
has.
I know. Um no, she was a great first round draft, I think. So anyway, yeah, I can't remember the total. I think it's like 120 points total spread right now. Um, but remembering you get like 10 points per this and that, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Catherine
hey,
says,
Catherine.
yeah,
Nice.
she's MVP
Sorry,
for sure.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, so that's what I guess the update is on how we're doing intramurally speaking.
Yeah.
Um, as far as 23.3, what are we thinking there?
Now,
Oh,
now hold on. Is there like like a traditional like do we get more intense, like more gymnastic movements, like the skill level goes up?
well,
Like,
so
because it seems like
let's
that's
look
how it
at it
should go, right?
analytically, right? Let's look
Yeah.
at it analytically here. So pull up just like the main sites or games
Yep.
one, yeah. So that we could just kind of quickly look at these. So 23-2A, we have gymnastics monostructural. Time domain 15 minutes or 20 depending on how you look at this. And then you also have a weightlifting component, heavy. All right. So we got those three. So right now, right even split with monostructural weightlifting gymnastics. Okay, go to 21 or your point one.
Hold on, I think I was in the right spot here. Well, that's not it.
That's not it. Go to,
That
if you
is
just
not
go
it.
game season.
Game season?
Yeah, you
Oh, wait,
go back
just type that
wherever
in.
that.
Apologies to all
No, no,
my.
no, no, no. Click games,
Okay.
home, and then games
What?
season, the little drop down up there,
Okay. Yep.
and then open workouts,
Okay. Boom.
and then you could just click on one at the top there.
Boom.
Okay. All right. So, and then you have this one. So we're right now we're at an even playing field. We got another monostructural in the row. We've got another gymnastics in the totem bar, another weightlifting in the wall ball, and then another weightlifting in the clean, and then another gymnastics. So right now we're kind of at a dead even tie. I
Yeah.
don't, if they want to bring back another monostructural, it would make sense. So double unders would be the next, probably most obvious choice here.
Haven't done anything super shoulder heavy.
We have not done really any pressing
Yeah.
overhead. I mean, we could count the thruster, but it's like 1 rep, so we're not going to count because volume-wise, nothing. So I think it's going to be something a little bit more fast-paced. But yeah, I think there is going to be some level of pressing overhead. I love there was somebody who was talking about they do these escalating things a lot. So like this week we've got an escalating rep scheme, but the burpee stays the same. Sometimes you'll see escalating weight schemes,
Mhm.
right? Where the reps come down, but the weight goes up every time. Sometimes you see stuff like that. But what Adrian Bosman did in the games last year, he did something called, I think it was called the skill medley, where it was an escalating skill, right? So what if it was another
I remember
skill
that.
medley, but for the rest of us, not the games athletes, but it's still going to be challenging. It's going to be a separator. So it could be something like single unders and wall walks. Then you go to double unders and handstand push-ups.
Handstand push-up.
And then you go to I don't even know what else.
Triple
Maybe a
unders or crossover
crossover,
doubles.
double crossover maybe,
Yeah.
and handstand walk. Maybe that's too many escalations. Maybe that's
Uh-huh.
just right. Maybe it's more like do 2 rounds of single unders in this other movement and then 2 rounds of this and this. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's handstand push-ups and walk and handstand walks. But seeing an escalation in skill would be, I think, of potential.
Yeah, and I like the overhead approach because there has not been much of that, and I could see
Yeah.
that being.
The other thing there has not been, as far as weightlifting goes, there has not been a just controlled mechanical lift, right? So no regular squats, no regular deadlifts, nothing like that. It's been a power clean. It's been
Mhm.
a wall ball. Those are both like very fast, more explosive movements, right? And one of them is like Olympic lifting, right? And then this week we have the thruster where it's very similar to that. It feels very Olympic lifty, not so
Mhm.
much like just squat or this or that, right?
Yeah.
So I could also see. We also haven't used the dumbbells yet, so I wouldn't be shocked by seeing some dumbbells come in. So I'm kind of thinking there could just be like a dumbbell front squat and a handstand push-up. I think the dumbbell deadlift and handstand push-up is a little too predictable and
Yep.
overplayed. Um, but that's a similar type of movement where it's like just a straightforward classic movement.
I'm liking ropes and wall walks again. Isn't that like our original guest, like back in episode 2? Go check it out, folks. But yeah,
the
we
only
would.
reason the only reason I don't expect that is so Adrian Bosman in this workout talked about how there's only been like one other time in the open where they've done a monostructural gymnastics combination, and that is wall walks and double unders. So he was very proud to introduce this workout to us because it's that same combo
Mhm.
as far as monostructural gymnastics.
Man, yeah.
So I think that kind of eliminates wall walk double under,
Yep.
at least by itself.
I could see that,
The
especially if
other
you
thing
called it
is,
out.
yeah, the other thing is I think we haven't seen a triplet yet either. So you could have 3 movements. You could do double under, handstand push up, and dumbbell front squat or something like that.
And if you think about it, there's a lot of things still on the list that we've not used, like
Oh,
the
so many
box,
things. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The box
Um,
could still come into play. Definitely.
yeah.
I think with
Wall
shuttle
sprints.
runs, we're less likely to see some bounding.
Wait, what was that word you just used?
bounding, so like a reflexive ankle,
Oh,
explosive
okay.
movement. I just think it's less likely. I don't know if it's like not gonna
Off the
happen.
table.
Yeah, it's nothing's off the table, right? That's the whole point. But I do think that we'll see a press, and then we'll see probably like a really standard movement. We haven't done a lot of squatting.
All right.
40 reps in the first workout.
Close your eyes. Picture this. Mitch, we need you to write 23.3.
Okay.
What's it going to be? Not your guess what it's going to be, but like you get to do it. This is your baby. You get to announce it to the world.
I've thought a lot about this.
Oh, I wish I had a note ready.
Jeez, I wish I was more prepared. No, 10-1 front dumbbell front squat and handstand push-up.
There it is. Just take the thinking out of it and just do it, man. Wouldn't that be
I don't
crazy
know.
if that's
That's no, it'd be nuts. The only reason I don't think it could be something like that is because that rep scheme feels like we've just done that rep scheme. Not we've just done descending or ascending every week
yeah,
so far, right? So we did a descending on the first week. We did a ascending this week. So maybe the reps will be more standardized this week, where it's just same across, but maybe the skills go up.
yeah,
I
like a
could
for
see that.
time.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be short. I think it's going to be less than 10 minutes, or have like a 10-minute cap where most of the competitive athletes are getting done in like 4 or 5 minutes.
Just like
I
burn
think,
through it.
yeah, I think you're going to see a real heater on this last one.
They ever do any like hero wads during the open?
Um, I don't think they've technically done a hero wad in the open.
No.
No, I don't think so.
What's the point in
Not
that?
in the open, but
Or why at least?
most of them are probably just too long.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a few that are short. Like you could do DT in the open. That's a pretty
Yeah,
short workout. Um, but when you get to the cream of the crop, it's almost too short. There's not enough separation.
yeah. I
And
gotcha.
they've done it in the games. They did double DT. I think one year they did heavy DT another year.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. We're doing dumbbell front squats and handstand push-ups, 10-1.
Yeah, or pistols.
Ooh, yeah.
I wouldn't rule out pistols as far as a squat. Like that would be an interesting. We also haven't done anything unilateral, so maybe there is going to be an escalate. Maybe it'll be dumbbell walking lunges, and then the skill level is progressing towards like a pistol.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe.
Interesting to
I don't
see.
know.
Here it is. I still like yours though.
I just say it because it's easy and it would be effective for the most part. It would also be really short, right?
Yeah. And
Like,
fun though, right? Whoever can get to it. No dumbbell snatches coming from
um,
Catherine.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't foresee
Excellent
dumbbell
question,
snatches.
Catherine. Thank you for joining in on our conversation here. We
Yeah, we
appreciate
need
you.
someone.
Yeah. Should have been
We
talking
had
trash
like
to
up
our
to
one
4
fan out there.
people. Oh, did you see what I just found in my pocket?
Oh,
This is this
is
is an
that a lace
exact
glove?
this is an exact replica of what Elsa wears in Frozen.
We're gonna start
You
the
could
bidding out at
find this.
$500.
You can't find this anywhere else. Yeah.
500. We'll start the bidding at $500, folks. Yes, you are. Thank you, Catherine. It's 2 weeks in a
Catherine's
row.
using the
Unfortunately, though,
MVP thing too
Catherine, there's no
much.
points. No points for being MVP of the chat here.
Ooh, hey, that might be a challenge next week.
Ooh, there we go.
Participating in the chat on the podcast gets your team's points. I'm
Gosh,
thinking we're gonna do that next week.
I really like it. I really
Yeah,
like it. I'll get dressed up and clean up my room a little bit more.
sounds good.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think we got our predictions in. We talked about last week. We talked about this week. Um, anything else you want to shoot the shit about?
no, man, I'm looking forward to tonight. Got barbecue on, hang out with some friends, see
Dude, I'm
some
so
people
excited.
lift heavy, also
Yeah,
sweat really hard. Oh,
yeah.
dressing up, right? We didn't even talk about dressing up.
I don't want to talk about it.
What are you gonna wear?
I have no fucking clue. All right,
Oh, I got something for you.
Jeff,
It's a one piece. Unitard.
shut up.
Yup.
The one that
It's
goes
home.
right up your butt.
Yeah, Katie's like, "Oh, you're gonna wear it." I'm like, "Yeah, right, doing burpees? Like, they will cut me in half."
I'd be more worried on the thruster, getting to that bottom position. Butt gets a little hungry down there, you know?
If you wanna stand up quick, though, there's one way to do it.
Feel like you're about to rip something
Yeah, you stand up
against your
or you die.
Uh,
Nice. Well, good job, Mitch. It's been another fun conversation here on See You in Valhalla.
Yes, sir. Don't forget
I
to
need to
like,
kick butt.
comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Yep,
Eventually we'll
definitely.
get our shit together and have it on like Spotify and stuff. But
Oh, yeah,
for
heck yeah. Hey,
now,
Catherine, subscribe.
exclusively on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right,
Sweet.
guys.
Alright, see you
Enjoy
soon.
23.2. I'm having a hard time